Is it the full moon? Is it ovulation? Is my anxiety high? Why am I up at 3 a.m.? Like, I genuinely never know which one it is, but 3 a.m. seems to be the prime time, and it's been consistent and reliable and wildly inconvenient. This week it's been so persistent that I've actually wanted it to stop. I just keep like either waking up at 3 a.m. or not being able to go to sleep till 4 a.m. because my mind is just constantly racing. And at some point, it gets to a point. My whole life I've been told that I'm too much in my head, that I isolate to the point of concern, especially from my mum. But here's the thing, I've always loved my solitude, especially at night. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it's almost like I come alive when the world goes to sleep. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I wanted to know why that is. So let's get into it, because I've done a little bit of research. So apparently during the day, your prefrontal cortex is running the show. It's the part responsible for executive function, planning, self-editing, social filtering, the voice that says, should you really be saying that? That's what's alive in the daytime. It's really great for getting things done, terrible for creative leaps. At 3 a.m., however, that part of your brain is completely turned off. And what takes over is a part of your brain that's responsible for associative thinking, pattern recognition, creative connections, and daydreaming or dreaming, whichever one. I also dream very heavily too, so there's that. So my creative brain is just going whether I'm asleep or whether I'm awake at that time. Research from UC Berkeley found that and just bear with me when I say this word, hypnagogic state, I think that's how you say it, that fuzzy space between waking and sleeping produces 250% more creative problem solving than when you are fully alert and conscious. That's actually crazy. So there are studies to show that at nighttime you're more creative. So your brain is not malfunctioning at 3 a.m. You are just performing exactly how your brain performs. There is also a hormone called prolactin that is released at night, and it's got a calming, peaceful effect that scientists believe are the right conditions for creative processing. Even exhaustion apparently is part of it too, because when you're tired, just like when you're drunk, your inhibitions drop. And so you are opened up to a bit more imagination and a bit more freedom to just say and do what you want, basically. But it's not just science. There is also folklore that says, and for centuries and from loads of different cultures, that says that 3 a.m. is a prime hour. It says that between 3 and 4 a.m. is the perfect time for the veil between the spiritual and the physical world to open up. Now, obviously you don't have to believe in those things, but I'm just telling you the thought processes, the theory, the research, and the cultural significance of being a night owl or having creative bursts of energy at night. Spirit guides, angels, and your higher self, apparently, this is the time that is easiest for them to reach you. Whether that be God, whether that be your ancestors, any of that. Apparently, this is the time, the prime time for you to connect. I do think it has something to do with the moon, but again, my obsession with the moon is a video for another day. But apparently 3 a.m. also is the time between 3 and 5, 3 and 4, when your ego is asleep. Your ego is not there. And then numerologically, which I love numerology, 3 is the number that signifies creativity, expression, and play. And lastly, in traditional Chinese medicine, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., this apparently corresponds with your lung meridian, which is related to unexpressed emotions, grief, and things that you haven't yet had a chance to say. The next thing I get all the time when I talk about the fact that I'm either up late or I'm getting up in the middle of the night, or I like the middle of the night, is this circadian rhythm argument. Circadian rhythms is basically what scientists have decided that your body clock runs on. It says that you are supposed to be, as humans, we're supposed to sleep at night and we're supposed to be awake during the day. We are not nocturnal animals. We are not nocturnal animals, essentially. But I personally think the circadian rhythm was created for 9-to-5ers. I think it was created for people that have to have a schedule and don't necessarily need or require their creative brain to do things. Personally, that's what I think. I just don't think creators were in the room when they were handing out circadian rhythms, genuinely. I have always struggled to fall asleep. I have always struggled to sleep at a reasonable hour since I was young. And so I'm kind of a bit like, oh no, I don't know if this is for me, girl. And also, there is scientific biological studies that have shown that sometimes sleep schedules are hereditary. So if you have a parent or a grandparent that also is a night owl, this might also be the reason why you like nighttime. But what I don't like is people attributing you to being a night owl to you being lazy and unproductive. Like, that's not true. I am the most productive in the later hours in the day. I don't know what that's about. I mean, I'm finding out now, but like, I've always been that way. Mornings are just not my thing. There are so many artists as well that document that their best creative hours were at nighttime. Tennessee Williams, Kafka, and also Proust, I think that's how you say their name. They were all creative night owls. The people who write the novels that you love, the music that you love to dance to, and the films that you love to cry at, they're not always sleeping at sociable hours, let's be real. I feel like from an identity perspective, it's very interesting because for so long the world tells you to be legible, be on a schedule, be structured, make sure you're doing things in the way that the world tells you is the best way to do things. And for a lot of time that will stifle somebody who's creative. It had for a long time for me, that's for sure, because I need to do things on my own timing. I need to do things on my body's own clock. The way my body works is if I feel it, I feel it, and if I don't, I don't. And I've been trying to fight against that for so long, and I'm done fighting against it. I'm not gonna lie. It's very interesting that your best or most like exciting ideas are coming when the world is asleep. I don't think my 3 a.m. ideas or your 3 a.m. ideas are interrupting your life. I think they are actually just allowed to say the things and think the things that you wanted to think in the day that you weren't allowed to, that your ego and your conscious wasn't allowing you to. The brain is finally quiet enough for you to actually be heard. Your identity flow state happens at 3 a.m. and that is absolutely fine. It might happen at 4 a.m. It might happen at 2 p.m. but it happens. That's the most important thing. It's not fixed like most things. It ebbs and it flows. I think the biggest thing is the shame that's attached to that. The shame that's attached to being a bit different, being a bit nocturnal, being a bit unconventional. And that's what we need to get away from, because there's nothing shameful about being different. So next time you find yourself at 3 a.m. writing something down or feeling like you can't sleep because you've got so many things swirling in your head, don't stop, write it down. It sometimes won't even make sense when you look at it in the morning, but that's not the point. It came out. You need an outlet. You need to express yourself in the ways that need to be expressed. Whether you go and do some quiet drumming, whether you go and listen to some music. Sometimes I will be dancing around doing karaoke at 4 a.m. Ask me why, I do not know. I don't know. I think there is a creative frequency that you have to be awake and connected and in tune to catch. And so if your creative frequency is at a certain time, roll with it. I know you've probably had some very interesting ideas at 3 a.m, so I would love to hear them. But for me and you and my fellow night owls, I will see you at 3 a.m.